to this moment a presentation of the Bahamas Conference of the Methodist Church.
I greet you this morning with Jesus' joy, for the Word of God says that the joy of the Lord is our strength. It's a privilege for me to be sharing these few moments with you. I am Kendris Carey, and I'm sharing on the topic, Going Fishing with Jesus. Matthew 4 and verse 18 reads, "And Jesus, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw two brethren, Simon called Peter, and Andrew his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishers." How are your fishing skills? Have you ever let the big one get away? Soon after Jesus began his public ministry, he was walking beside the Sea of Galilee, and he invited two brothers to be his disciples. Jesus promised them, "Follow me, and I will make you fish for people." These two brothers, Simon Peter and Andrew, were ordinary people. Although we may not be attracted to this type of thinking, it describes the wide, all
This is the ZNS Network, providing radio and high-definition television services for the entire Bahamas. ZNS Network is operated by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. It is located at Harcourt Rusty Bethel Drive, Centerville, Nassau. Our programming is designed to inform, educate, and entertain. We invite you to join us.
The following is a preamble of the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Whereas 481 years ago, the rediscovery of this family of islands, rocks and keys, heralded the rebirth of the New World. And whereas the people of this family of islands, recognizing that the preservation of their freedom will be guaranteed by a national commitment to self-discipline, industry, loyalty, unity, and an abiding respect for Christian values and the rule of law. Now, know we therefore, we the inheritors of and successors to this family of islands, recognizing the supremacy of God and believing in the fundamental rights and freedoms of the individual, do hereby proclaim in solemn praise the establishment of a free and democratic sovereign nation, founded on spiritual values, and in which no man, woman, or child shall ever be slave or bondsman to anyone, or their labor exploited, or their lives frustrated by deprivation, and do hereby provide by these articles for the indivisible unity and creation under God of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
He was a leader in the civil rights movement in the United States. Dr. Martin Luther King also supported the Bahamas as its people fought to free themselves from the shackles of oppression. As a U.S. holiday in his name approaches, the Office of Greek Life and Student Leadership of the University of the Bahamas, in conjunction with Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Phi Mu, and Iota Epsilon Lambda chapters, will celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. King with the 6th Annual Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Guest Lecture. Guest lecturer will be Georgia State Representative and 2022 Lieutenant Governor candidate Derek L. Jackson. The theme, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? You can join the lecture live via the ZNS Network on Monday, January 17th, 2022 at 8 p.m.
What you see on this television station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation. The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, and programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcasted by this television station. The code is available on IRCA's website at www.ircabahamas.bs. To receive a copy of the code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 242-300-8722. Or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
It's Monday, January 17th, 2022, and the morning edition is live. On today's show, the Prime Minister at Expo 2020 in Dubai. Reinforcements brought in to help local healthcare professionals manage the COVID-19 pandemic. The best of Sir Sydney hits the big screen. And new track records set. So let's start the morning off right.
The Morning Edition is brought to you by We Buy, You Sell Company, your leading hurricane impact windows, doors, and tile specialist.
Good morning, Kelsey.
I thought for a second you didn't even want to tell the nation good morning.
Good morning, everybody. I'm so glad to be back in your company.
Fisher's
I
back,
miss you
Fisher's
all
back,
so much.
Fisher's back,
I didn't
Fisher's
miss you
back.
as much as I missed the viewers, but I'm so glad to be back to everybody out there. Hope you're having a great year so far. Good morning, the adorable Kelsey Johnson.
You know what? I was just singing a lovely song in my soprano voice.
Oh, okay.
And you kind of brought the volume down. I didn't appreciate that just now. I just want you to know.
No, but I love the viewers. I love the viewers. I was out doing some shopping. They were asking me when I'm going back, so I'm back. And you never called me. I called you.
Fisher, stop it. I text you everything.
I called you. I text you. You didn't return my call. I guess you were too busy.
With Olsen Nick.
Yeah, for the local folks. So I like the viewers. So how are you doing? How you doing? Nice
You
to see
look nice. Where did you get this cardigan from?
Walmart.
And how much was it?
About $8.99.
So that means you flew out of the country.
No, I had this for 3 years now, but it hasn't been as cold as it is now. What do you think is going on with this weather?
It is really, really cold. I mean, I want to bring out my boots. I love boots, by the way, and I want to buy a fur coat. Can you get?
But that's
I love fur
that's what
coats.
goes strange with Bahamas. As soon as it gets cold, I saw a guy with a tam on, wearing a face mask. He had on gloves. He had
It's
on
called protecting yourself. It's chilly outside. We don't get these frigid weather temperatures. We don't.
Okay.
So I have to protect myself. So I want to get boots, stockings, fur coat, mittens, and a towel.
So you're going
since
out
you
of the
said-
country?
No, I
So
just.
why did you ask me if I went out of the country for my sweater?
I don't travel anymore since COVID hit.
That's both of us. So, but nice to be back after 6 weeks of vacation, trying to get
I'm going to have to talk to upper management about your time. 6 weeks is a lot.
Trying to get my sleep pattern because this time Sol is still being up just watching TV.
So you didn't do any exercise,
No
nothing?
exercise, nothing.
Wow,
Just
fish.
stayed home, watched TV,
Wow.
did some virtual school back.
But I
in-
was looking at your status. You cooked eggs one day for Charlie. Or did Charlie cook the eggs?
Charlie
for
cooked
you?
the eggs. Charlie cooked the eggs, and Charlie's birthday is coming up, so she just said, let her God knows that her birthday is
Yes,
coming
Charlie.
up. Yeah, so let's take it. And we're talking about being cold up there. Let's take it
I
out to
think
the
Desmond
streets
is.
where our Desmond Sanders is standing by with our local traffic. Desmond, I know it's talking about traffic, but the weather out there must be cold this morning as well.
Yes, certainly, Fisher. It is cool on the outside. I've got on my jacket and I still feel cool and chilly. Nevertheless, it's a beautiful Monday. We're here at the intersection of Wolf Road and E Street with our first look at traffic. Kelsey and Charles, glad to see both of you are back together again. Charles Fisher, welcome back to the People's Job. Welcome back to ZNS. But we're talking about traffic this morning, and we have a number of things, several incidents overnight. Corporal Patrick Kemp joining me live on the broadcast this morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Desmond. Good morning, Bahamas. I'm doing great, man. As you said, it is cold. I'm standing here and I'm shaking out my foot. But overnight, we had reported some 4 accidents. Nothing of any significance in terms of injury. So I'm glad to say that. But we still have a number of infractions that persons are committing throughout the streets. And I want to encourage the drivers to continuously drive with due care and attention, pay special attention to the markings and street signs on the street, and be a brother's keeper.
That's very, very important. What are some of the rules of the road that we need to be aware of this week? It's the start of a new week. It's Monday.
Well, as expected, Mr. Sanders, we expect persons to, like I said, to still adhere to the rules of the road in terms of the street markings, street signs. There's no need for the excess speed that are still happening on our street. We expect persons to still utilize their seatbelts, minimize any electronic device usage in their vehicles to minimize potential accidents. And you're gonna notice, Mr. Sanders, and persons have been noticed it already. There are going to be a number of road checks throughout the streets of New Providence. This is in an effort to crack down on a lot of the offenses and persons who are traveling on the streets without their driver's license, proper documents, insurance in the vehicle, defective vehicle, stuff like that, so we can keep things in order and obviously keep our community safe.
Thank you very much. That's your first look on traffic this morning here on a cool Monday. Just be safe and stay warm. Charles and Kelsey, back to you in the studio.
Well, thanks a lot, Desmond. We are waking up to 72 degrees, mostly cloudy, winds west-northwest at 14 miles per hour, humidity 68% now. Strong cold front now moving into the central Bahamas. We'll quickly push southwards into the southeast Bahamas by the evening. Strong winds will spread across the island chain in the wake of the front. Northwest and central Bahamas today, weather partly cloudy and windy, and cool across the northwest Bahamas to cloudy and windy with scattered showers and thunderstorms across the central Bahamas today, becoming very cloudy, windy and chilly tonight with a passing shower or 2. Possible southeast Bahamas weather partly sunny at first, becoming partly cloudy, the cloudy and breezy with scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon throughout tonight as the front moves into the area. Now today's high temperature 74, overnight low of 57. And as we look ahead to Tuesday and Wednesday, mostly sunny and pleasant on both days. 72 on Tuesday, 78 the high on Wednesday, and in the night a little chilly, 63 on Tuesday, 56 on Wednesday.
Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis with a busy schedule this week as he engages in high-level discussions at Expo 2020 in Dubai. Today will be celebrated as Bahamas National Day and is part of the government's wider strategy to secure trade and investment opportunities for the country. The future of the country's #1 industry and its ability to adapt to modern times, the focus of the tourism panel at this year's Bahamas Business Outlook. President of the Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association, Robert Sands, spoke about what will be key if the sector is to rebound to 2019 numbers.
One, continue to give the best of ourselves in the delivery of good customer service. If we do that, I think we are very much ahead of the game. Two, and the Prime Minister alluded to it, this whole issue of the utilization of the orange economy must be integrated into everything that we do in tourism. Thirdly, we must be consistent in our messaging in the marketplace that we do not confuse the traveling consumer. Let's make a decision, stick to it, so that we can have this building stones for a successful industry.
The Ministry of Health reporting 195 new COVID-19 cases, 163 in New Providence, 24 in Grand Bahama, 3 in Exuma, 1 each in Abaco, the Berry Islands, and Kent Island, with 2 locations pending. 13 of the new cases have a travel history over the past 14 days. 101 are women. Hospitalizations now stand at 132, 6 of which are in the intensive care unit. There are 32 new recoveries with 6,889 cases still active. The COVID-19 death toll remains at 719, with 37 deaths still under investigation. The answer remains no to any mass gatherings across the country during the surge in COVID-19 cases. That from Health and Wellness Minister Dr. the Honorable Michael Darville. Dr. Darville says his primary duty is to create policy which will ensure the health and safety of all residents and visitors.
The Ministry of Health for mass gathering has the final approval. If an event is not been approved by the Ministry of Health and the promoter cannot produce evidence of that, I think the event should be shut down. That's final at this particular time in the pandemic.
50 nurses from the Republic of Cuba are now in country to begin the mammoth task of helping local healthcare professionals effectively manage the COVID-19 pandemic. These nurses were chosen from a pool of more than 300 candidates, and they're ready to get to work.
We are living in a very difficult moment because COVID, and now is the time to keep in touch, to keep in one hand, to help the people like a family.
I feel so happy, and the people here is very friendly.
Reconstruction efforts continue on the island of Abaco and surrounding keys post-Hurricane Dorian as Abaconians rebuild their lives.
The government has decided that they will bring relief to Moores Island and address those concerns. In Moores Island, it's a lot worse than what I experienced in Hopetown and Green Turtle Key. Those communities were also devastated, but they seem to be coming back a lot faster. The one narrative I keep hearing is that the second home owners and NGOs provided the majority of the relief there. In Sweetings Key, when I was there, I think early December, there are still tents on that island. There have been construction of homes, I think, by Rotary, and so there's some relief there. But apart from the housing, you're talking about people being displaced, but you're also talking about kids that are affected by schools.
In mobile services provided by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions helps our customers help their customers adapt to the new way of paying for things. Digital Wallets makes your transactions faster, more convenient, and secure. Whether it's using a debit card at the grocery store or making online payments for your monthly expenses, Digital Wallets powered by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions makes it better. For more information on our fixed and mobile services, contact the experts at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Following the death of Sir Sidney Poitier and an outpouring of tributes from various sectors of society, Fusion Superplex will honor the late film legend by showing some of his most iconic movies for 6 days back-to-back starting today, and it's free to the public. Marketing manager Stephen Gay explains why the theater felt compelled to honor Sir Sidney in this way.
We believe it's the perfect time to introduce to a younger generation the work of Sir Sidney and to reintroduce his work to another generation and just to show the talent that exists here in the Bahamas. We believe that in this time of bereavement for not just the family, it's a national thing. So we look at it as our way of paying tribute to a national icon, and during a special time of mourning, you can walk up to our box office and make reservations. So just feel free to come on down, go to our box office and get your tickets. Let the box office agents know which day, which movie you want to watch, and they'll take it from there.
Taking advantage of opportunities in the orange economy. One Bahamian doing so is producer Leandra Lee in her creation of Beneath the Gates. Beneath the Gates is a suspense drama about an elite, wealthy Bahamian family in conflict over a gambling empire following the death of the family's patriarch. This pilot episode featuring an all-Bahamian cast debuted last night on YouTube.
And while it may not bear the banner of a World Heritage Site, St. Agnes Anglican Church remains a landmark nestled in the heart of New Providence for over 180 years. This morning, Lloyd Allen takes us on a journey down memory lane from its early days to the present.
The ministry of St. Agnes really dates back to 1841. But we didn't have a church building until 1845.
St. Agnes Church rector and Anglican Diocese Archdeacon Father Keith Cartwright says the church, located between Blue Hill Road and Market Street in the Bain and Grantstown community, has long stood as a tower of refuge.
We have the main edifice, which is St. Agnes Church itself, from 1845, and then next to it, behind the church, is the parish hall that was built by Archdeacon William Thompson, whose grave is here in the churchyard. He served for 32 years. And then we have the schoolroom on the very end, which used to be the parish hall. And there's an auditorium on top, and then on the bottom is where the preschool used to be. The preschool is no longer in existence, but we still use it for educational purposes.
With a number of surrounding buildings also under the church's remit, Father Cartwright says the church would not be what it is today without many of the priests who would have come before him.
We have the priests that served, starting from Father Rogers and ending up with myself. And we have had a very illustrious history.
That history deeply rooted in education, with the late Father William Woodcock helping to educate many underprivileged Bahamians.
Father Woodcock started a school for this Grantstown area. And of course, the school in the area, the government school now, is named after him for his honor.
Over the years, the church has also attracted a number of nation builders.
Sir Lyndon was a part of the Grantstown community, but of course his wife, Dame Pinlin, is a full-time member here, and she's a former Governor General and a very, very important person in the history of our country. As you know, Sir Lyndon is buried in our church's cemetery.
Having survived a number of hurricanes, the church has stood the test of time like a beacon of hope.
Over the years, we've had several hurricanes. The 1926 storm did St. Agnes pretty bad. The 29 storm also affected St. Agnes. So we've been struggling over the years to continue to rebuild, and we have.
The Bahamas National Pride Association recognizing a senior clergyman for his tireless efforts in maintaining the grounds of his local church and for engaging residents of the Bain and Grantstown community. Archdeacon Keith Cartwright was awarded as an environmental ambassador for the many years of beautifying the St. Agnes grounds, comprising an entire block between Blue Hill Road and Market Street.
Father Strawn and I just look on and do our little bit, but the whole idea is to have a wonderful green space within the heart of our wonderful Bain and Grantstown. St. Agnes is a historical church. It has a whole block, and we decided that we were going to try to keep it clean, not only the churchyard, but also the cemetery. Yes. In our cemetery at St. Agnes, we have our father of our nation, Sir Lyndon Pinlin. And so our church has always been in the forefront of making sure that our cemetery is clean. And that shows the sort of care that we have for the environment.
Tribute paid to Dr. Jonathan Eden, who passed away recently. Members of the Majority Rule Planning Committee remembering Dr. Eden for the role she played in the Majority Rule celebrations over the years. Here's Jamila Mizek.
The Grants Bahama One Bahamas Celebration Committee coming together to pay tribute to the late Dr. Jonathan Evans Eden. Churchill Tenor Knoll says he met her while serving on the committee, adding that she made sure to recognize those in Grants Bahama during the celebrations.
But often we think of persons in New Providence, but persons on the island also had made their contribution as far as the Majority Rule is concerned back in 1967. And Dr. Eden here in Grand Bahama was one to make sure that was done. And I'm sure she would always be associated with the recognition of persons here in Grand Bahama on the Majority Rule Day.
Chairman of the Grants Bahama One Bahamas Celebration Committee, responsible for the Majority Rule celebration on Grants Bahama, Cecil Thompson says Dr. Jonathan Evans Eden served as the deputy chairperson of the Majority Rule Committee. He says many persons may not know that she was actually the one responsible for inspiring the celebrations in Grants Bahama.
For 3 years, Grand Bahama had the distinction of being the only island in the entire Commonwealth of the Bahamas that celebrated Majority Rule Day, the public holiday, in such a grand fashion, i.e., having thousands of school kids in a uniform and the school banners, having uniform groups and all those other groups participated in it. The only island in the Commonwealth. That brought tremendous satisfaction to us on the committee, and nobody was prouder than Dr. Eden.
Thompson says she will always be remembered.
When we celebrate Majority Rule Day, as we go around the schools, etc., 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 I would make sure the whole world knows. The lion's share of the credit should never have gone to Cecil Thompson. The lion's share of the credit should have gone to Dr. Eden, but she was always behind the scene.
Thompson sending condolences to the family on behalf of the Grants Bahama One Bahamas Celebration Committee. Dr. Jonathan Evans Eden died 2 days before the country celebrated its 55th anniversary of Majority Rule at the age of 56.
As we head to the break, we take a look back at today in Bahamian history. On January 17, 1964, the Bahamas government's affiliation with the University of the West Indies was approved. Also on this day in 2003, the Prison Reform Commission was appointed.
Everything is changing, and your favorite hardware and home improvement store is getting with the program. We Buy You Sell is rolling out its new online shopping feature. If you go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, it's a quick and easy 3-step process. Step 1, browse the gallery and select your item. Step 2, add to cart. And Step 3, check out. Go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, to shop with us today.
That's why we got the
A new Bahamian national record being set in the men's 200 meters. World and Olympic 400 meter champion Stephen Gardner won the men's race at the 2022 UAB Men's Invitational in a Bahamian record of 32.06 seconds. In a tweet, Speedy Stevie saying, "What a way to start off this 2022 season. The time is also a world leader."
Terrence Jones setting the track world on fire as well. The sophomore at Texas Tech, who up until now has been more of a 200-meter specialist, stepped down in distance to win the 60-meter at the Corky Classic on his home track in the Buck, Texas. After winning his heat in what was the first 60-meter race of his life in a new national record of 6.53 seconds, he went even quicker in the final, stopping the clock for the win in 6.45 seconds. The performance from Jones, who last year set a new national record in the under-20 record of 20.36 seconds for 200 meters, moves him up into the tie for 9th on the world indoor all-time list for the distance. Jones's time also equaled the NCAA record.
Well, what a weekend for baseball. Ryan Reckley fulfilling a lifelong dream, signing a professional contract worth a reported $2.2 million with the San Francisco Giants. The 17-year-old Max D product is the 9th-ranked international prospect, according to MLB Pipeline, and considered one of the most talented infielders in the class.
It has been a long road, as I once was a shy young child who would barely utter a word to becoming the young man you see before you today. My parents would have spent many years and sacrificed much with my development, so much so that I cannot even place a value on their investment. The countless hours at ball games, the extra practice time, and the overall support in every aspect of my development and growth. I am humbled by today's events and pray that this is only a catalyst to achieving the goals I have set and making myself and my parents proud of my accomplishments.
Not to be left out, infielder Sheriff Nemo and outfielder Toby Simmons. They have also inked deals signing on with the fellow Bahamian Jar Chisholm and the Miami Marlins.
Coach Ron, thank you for seeing my potential from the very beginning and everything you've done for me leading up to this moment. Coach Albert, the smartest and funniest man I know. Thank you for everything, Coach, especially for opening up your home in the U.S. to me and the boys to ensure that we got the necessary games and training that we needed in.
Coach Ron, Coach Albert, Coach Snipe, Coach P, and Coach Nico. Thank you guys. Y'all pushed me to places I didn't always want to be pushed. But, just got to go with it sometimes. I'm someone who likes to work a lot, so just got to go with it.
As an artist, I travel all over the world, and I find inspiration all around me. From the people, and especially the environment. I love the Bahamas with all its natural beauty. From Abaco in the north to Inagua in the south, and all the wonderful and colorful islands in between. But we must all do our part to keep the Bahamas healthy and clean, now and for the future generations. That's why I want you to find a little time to do your part. I'm doing my part because I care. Do you?
Influenza, or the flu as it is commonly called, is a viral illness that usually occurs between the months October to March. The virus is transmitted from person to person through coughing, sneezing, or talking. Symptoms include fever, cough, headache, runny nose, generalized body aches, and fatigue. There is no specific treatment for the flu, and the symptoms usually dissipate after 3 to 7 days. Because it is caused by a virus, antibiotics are not used to treat the flu. Persons are encouraged to rest and drink lots of fluids. Panadol is recommended for fever and body aches associated with the flu. However, aspirin should be avoided due to the risk of bleeding. To decrease the spread of flu, persons are encouraged to get their flu shot annually and practice good cough hygiene. Additional information can be provided by your community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
Fisher, I didn't like your comment off air, giving me 2 minutes to talk. That means I'm a talker?
I started off wrong by saying I didn't miss you. Now they're telling us to give you 2 minutes to talk.
This is our job. Talk, talk, talk.
Okay, so what do you want?
I brought up a point off air as well about regattas. And I said, let's sell some tickets
for the
first day, at least. We can sell like 200 tickets.
Are you like me when everybody asking, Kelsey, when is regatta starting?
Right. I'm just trying to come up with a solution to help the government.
So Kelsey's suggestion was sell 150 tickets.
To 200. Just social distancing.
On Montague Beach.
On Montague Beach. And that those persons in the boat, they can sail. Obviously,
so they're not in the 150 or the 200?
No, they won't be in the count. You have it's almost like Junkanoo. You just sell the tickets, and when you meet your quota, you turn them away. It's like a plane ride. Okay, you can't come on board. Refill.
But who will pay to go to regatta? We're so used to just walking up in the regatta.
That's the thing. We were used to not wearing masks, but now we have to wear masks. We're living in an abnormal situation.
it's going to be hard for some young ladies because they're already paying $150 on
You know what? You're not going to hit our hair. You're not going to hit our nails or our outfits.
They're already paying $150 just to look half decent, to come to Regatta in the bathing suit and all that, to chase out for so charge them now. It's not going to be good.
Well, they can always call you for a free ticket. Or we can do some trivias and give some tickets away.
Look, this is what I came back for. Well, be sure to tune in to the ZNS Network for news as it happens, TV and radio updates throughout the day. Then you can tune into the Northern Edition at 6:30 and the Bahamas tonight at 7. And that's a wrap for us this morning.
Then make it, that was an excellent idea, but make it a great day, everyone.
Why you acting so uptight? Baby, I've been loving you so long, loving you so strong. Now I'm wondering if someone has been in the cookie jar, plucking on my guitar and pump the G string. Something just ain't right.